So you've decided that you want to get into anime, but where do you start? In this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 recommendations of the first animes that you should be watching. Hey Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. So today I'm going to be answering one of the top questions that I get all the time from my friends, once I've convinced them that anime is actually the way to eternal happiness, and that is, where do I even start? What are the first anime that you should watch? Well, the trick with this is that anime is actually kind of a broad term that actually has a lot of different genres that fall underneath of it. So I'm actually going to be talking about 5 key genres that I usually watch and that are kind of the bigger genres in anime itself, and giving you a couple of recommendations of which shows you should start within those. So let's get started. So the first genre is shonen. This is probably the biggest category in anime, and when people think anime, they usually think shonen. So this is action adventure anime, usually geared towards younger males. My first recommendation would be Fullmetal Alchemist. Now this can be the 2003 show or Brotherhood, it really doesn't matter, honestly. I recommend you watch both because they're both amazing shows, and you get twice the amount of Fullmetal Alchemist if you watch both. So watch both of them if you can. If not, either works. This show is about 2 brothers who are on their journey to find the Philosopher's Stone. Yes, the Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone. And they're trying to get it because they live in a world of alchemy, which is like a way of deconstructing matter and putting it back together again into different ways. It's very complicated, I won't get into the details about it. But they're on a journey to find this legendary Philosopher's Stone that can give them godlike powers because they want to repair their physical bodies. I won't get into how their bodies got damaged because that's a whole spoiler thing, but just go watch it. It's my favorite show. You should definitely watch that show. My second recommendation is Hunter x Hunter. Now this one's a little bit difficult for me to recommend because the show just isn't finished, because the manga just isn't finished, and it is very vague about whether or not we are actually going to get any more of either. But it is an amazing show. It's a little bit on the longer side, but it's not like hundreds or thousands of episodes long like some shonens can be. Hunter x Hunter is about Gon, who is a young boy who goes on an adventure to find his dad. He wants to pass the hunter exam, which is like this basic, he gets a certification that allows him to travel around to lots of different places, and he wants to meet lots of other people so that he can find his dad, who is also one of these hunters. It's a really good show. It has some of my favorite villains in anime in general because there's so much depth to the different conflicts that are actually in this show. It goes a lot deeper than a lot of other shonens do, so highly recommend that. The second genre we're going to get into is science fiction or sci-fi, which is one of my favorite genres in general, but I don't end up watching a lot of it in anime form. So the first show is Cowboy Bebop. Now this is just a pillar within the culture of anime. It is such an important anime to the history of anime, especially in the West. So if you are living in North America like I am, then this is a really important show. It's about a group of bounty hunters in space who basically go around trying to find different bounties, trying to make ends meet, make enough money to keep things afloat, if you will. And it also goes into some more philosophical things, but more importantly, it has one of the best soundtracks in all of television history. Fight me. The next recommendation is Steins Gate. Now, Steins Gate is just an amazing show in general, and it's a little bit more thriller based than Cowboy Bebop or what you might think of as sci-fi. So if sci-fi is a little bit too much sometimes for you with aliens and all that kind of stuff, Steins Gate is the way for you to go. This is about a mad scientist who accidentally wanders into a world of time travel and government conspiracies and, some gel nanas, which, I mean, you just need to have gel nanas in your life. It's a really funny show, but it also has some really emotion-driven and suspenseful stuff in it. It's a really amazing show. I highly recommend that you watch it in the original Japanese and subbed, just because there are some American characters in it, and it's so funny when they speak English that it just gets lost in the English dub. So watch it subbed if you can. If you really want to watch it dubbed, it's also really good. The next category kind of piggybacks off of that, and this is the genre of suspense, thriller kind of stuff. So my first recommendation is Psycho-Pass. This is an amazing show. It goes a little bit into the sci-fi realm because it's a little bit cyberpunky, but it's also just a really good kind of crime drama feeling thing. So this is about a couple of detectives who work in a world where everyone kind of gets their psyche scanned, so they get a Psycho-Pass or a psychological score. It's the system that allows them to like figure out who's a psychopath and who isn't, who's likely to cause crimes and who isn't. So it's this whole like punishing people before they do the crime kind of system. It's got dystopian vibes, definitely, but it's this one detective who is working with a detective who is technically criminally insane, and just seeing them work together and try to solve these different crimes and deal with like the philosophical gray zone of like, is it morally right to punish people for crimes they might have committed or are predicted to commit? Like a whole like Minority Report kind of feeling to it, but it's also just really good. Also, leave a comment down below if you want me to do full reviews or full discussion videos about any of these shows that I'm talking about, and I will look into doing that in the future. The next recommendation is Zenkyu no Terror, which is just like, it's such a good thriller show. It's got like some sci-fi kind of elements in it, but it's so good and I feel like nobody talks about it, but it's such a good show. So it is about these two boys who basically are like terrorists? It's complicated, but they live in a corrupt system kind of world. It's a little bit more rooted in reality than Psycho-Pass, and it's about them basically trying to uncover all of these secrets about like their past, why they were made the way that they were. There are some like more like supernatural elements mixed into it. It's really hard to talk about the show without giving some of the stuff away, so just like check it out if you want something a little bit more grounded in reality than a lot of other shows are in anime, but is still like in that thriller suspense area of things. The next category is slice of life, which is actually kind of a bit too broad in a lot of sense for anime, because there is so much anime that is based off of slice of life but is actually like some other genre underneath it. So I'm being a little bit sneaky with this one to be able to talk about some other shows from different genres. But my first recommendation is Clannad. This is just one of those shows that has such a dear place in my heart. It's so good. It's a basic slice of life school setting, which is kind of a standard anime slice of life setting, but it goes more in depth into things that are more philosophical, and there are some supernatural elements mixed into it. There's some romance things linked into it, and some great comedy behind it as well. I will say this though, I cried the entire second season, like happy tears, sad tears, so you know, it's an emotional thing to go through, but it's such a good show and it has some really, really beautiful moments in it. The next recommendation is March Comes In Like a Lion. This show was so much better than I thought it was going to be when I first watched it. It's kind of a sports anime in that the main character is a professional shogi player, chess of some kind. Hold on. I guess I should have done research before I started filming. Shogi. Yeah, I was totally right. I think I was, and I doubted myself. Anyway, it's kind of a sports anime in that the main character is a professional shogi player, which is like sort of like chess. It's a board game of some kind. Anyway, it kind of fits within that, but the biggest part of this show that I think is the most important to it is the way that it depicts mental illness. So definitely tread with caution in this one if mental health and different things about like illness and abuse and that kind of a thing are triggering for you, then this isn't going to be the show for you. But if it's something where you really want to see how a show takes full advantage of visual storytelling to explain how a character feels, this is the show. I have never seen a show or a movie or anything be able to describe what it feels to go through depression and anxiety and PTSD in just a visual format the way that this show does. It's an absolutely beautiful show, and it has some really heartwarming moments in it too. And there's lots of cats in it, so there's that. And the fifth and final genre that I'll be recommending to you guys is comedy. So the first show on this list is Zombieland Saga. Now, this is also me being a little bit sneaky because comedy kind of fits in with a lot of the shows, but I put in Zombieland Saga because it's also technically an idol anime, which is also a subgenre within anime, but it's more of like a parody of idol animes in that all of the idols in Zombieland Saga are zombies. And it's just hilarious to me to see these zombie girls trying to function as idols. There's also some mystery elements to it. Just a really cool time, you know, just see like these cute anime girls that end up being zombies. It's something that I find amusing and a little bit off kilter from what a lot of those shows tend to do. And the second and final recommendation is Hetalia. So this show is definitely pure comedy. It's also a little bit bizarre. So this show actually has really short episodes. They're like mini episode things, and it's basically personifications of world powers and countries trying to interact with each other. It's absolute madness. It's not for everyone, but it makes me laugh hysterically. And if you want to sit down for like 5 minutes and just like watch goofy characters trying to function with each other and be slightly historically accurate, this is a show for you. Also appreciate the gag of Canada being just a forgotten character that occasionally is in the background of stuff. As a Canadian, I feel that. So there are 10 recommendations of shows that you can start in under a few different genres. Let me know if you want me to do any more recommendations, go into other genres, or recommend just some more shows in general. I just like lost my train of thought partway through that. This is gonna be a mess to edit, I apologize. And if you enjoyed this video, then you can like it down below so that it can be spread to more people, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!